What's up guys, how would you feel about executive orders and executive actions for more stimulus provisions? Maybe some stimulus checks, some child tax credits, other executive work actions in order to provide more provisions. We heard that a list has been released by progressives calling on the president to provide more of these, and this is your Build Back Better stimulus package and stimulus check update now. Take a look. Articles coming out like this. House progressives urge Biden to support caregiving workforce and execute other Build Back Better priorities. When negotiations on the bill stalled in the Senate, lawmakers call on the White House to use executive authority ahead of the midterm elections. As a saying, this year is going to be the midterm elections. People are going to be voting on whether or not they want to keep those in power or switch over to the other party. As you know, Democrats are in full control of Congress, the House, the Senate, and the presidency. So if they want to stay in control, they're saying they've got to get something done to show the American people that they can pass provisions to help out at this time. Now let's go ahead and dive right in and get you guys up the latest in this calls for more stimulus of being spot and starting to increase in trend more Congress due to the fact that we have massive inflation and increased gas prices. And they're saying we need something to help out the American people. As we're hearing that right now, Senator Joe Manchin is going to be working on a revised, revamped Build Back Better bill, but we're hearing it's going to be significantly reduced in size. And as you recall, progressives said they wanted to see as much as $10 trillion, massive amounts of spending $6 trillion, $7 trillion to help fund monthly recurring stimulus checks. They were talking about $2,000 per month to eligible Americans. Also, they were talking about more child tax credit, unemployment extensions. Remember those, the PUA, the PEUC, and the $300 per week boosts the federal unemployment. They wanted to have all of that included in this. Now, a lot of these provisions, they've got tossed to the side because they said no. Moderates and Republicans said that this is too much spending, we're adding too much to the debt. It's going to be causing inflation, which we're hearing it has, and they're saying we need to reduce the amount of spending, and this is got cut down significantly. So imagine up at 10 trillion, 6, 7 trillion, all the way down now to around 1.5 trillion. And we're hearing it might get scaled down even more. So right now, that is currently what talks stand with Build Back Better, and they're saying that we have cut down so many provisions that whether it doesn't make it in, pen passes through legislation. That's fine. Then President Joe Biden just go ahead and steps up and passes through executive order and executive action. Now, the article says that the Congressional Progressive Caucus released a slate of policy priorities on Thursday they believe President Joe Biden can implement by taking executive action, including canceling federal student loan debt, lowering drug prices for insulin and inhalers, and creating a path for child care workers to unionize. The proposals echo components of the languishing Build Back Better agenda, Biden's sweeping $1.8 trillion domestic economic agenda that includes climate mitigation proposals and policies intended to support working women, such as universal pre-kindergarten, subsidized child care for most American families, and an extension of the expanded child tax credit. They're wondering, are we going to have those child tax credits, those money payment and then for parents at the end of 2021? They wanted to continue it on, but we will see as this is kind of an in question right now. Members of the Congressional Progressive Caucus began discussing what Biden could accomplish by executive action in December as plans for the Senate vote on Build Back Better fell apart. Democrat Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia said that he would not vote for it, tanking its chances in the evenly divided chamber. Now, the Progressive Caucus Chair Representative Pramila Jayapal of Washington said, progressives understand that mandate in this governing moment is to deliver for working people and to leave no one behind. So they're saying that is the priority right now, the top priority of progressives, to help out people and to do it in time before those elections. And they're saying they're not as concerned with debt and inflation, get out more provisions. Now, To that end, we have been pursuing a strong legislative strategy, and we will continue to do that, and that includes numerous conversations with senators, with the White House, with our own leadership, about how to move any piece of our original called Build Back Better agenda through. So they want to do it through legislation, but they're also strategizing for if it can pass through certain provisions to do it through executive actions. At the same time, the Biden administration has taken a strategy of executive actions since President Biden came into office, and we are now releasing a slate of steps that the administration can take in the same mode of executive actions that will have an immediate and meaningful impact for families. And as you know, this is a president without any of Congress, without any support coming up and saying this needs to be done and doing an executive order action for it to take place. They can be overruled, they can be deemed unlawful, as we had with the LWA program, which former President Donald Trump put in place, which we heard was very likely not lawful. However, nobody stepped up and challenged that executive order because they said that extended unemployment benefits were needed at that time, and it provided an additional 3 to 6 weeks of that federal boost to unemployment benefits. So the question is, if Biden does some executive action for the stimulus check, reallocates existing funds or for other provisions, will it be lawful? Can it push this through? Will it be challenged? These are some of the gray areas, the questions. But right now, progressives are saying we need executive actions in order to get done. Now, we need to talk about something very important, and this article discusses it. And it's something that I've been letting people know is the main reason why I believe that there is no provision that is off the table right now. And that is because there is a midterm year election. And as you know, progressives are saying that the top priority is that they want to help out the American people. And that is true, but there's also probably another motivation as well, and that is they want to stay in power. And if they don't stay in power, Republicans will take over and take control, and they won't be able to push through the agenda items any longer. Take a look at this. The push by the caucus is coming ahead of the November midterm elections, when all 435 House seats and roughly a third of Senate are on the ballots. Biden's approval rating has been steadily declining over the past year, with an aggregate of available polling putting him at about 42% approval, which is not a good position to be in. And a president's party nearly always suffers losses in the midterms, congressional elections, and Democrats who hold a small House majority and currently control of Senate, due to the vice president's tie-breaking authority, are praising for defeat. Some believe that delivering on a stalled portion of Biden's agenda could help staunch Democrats' losses and allow them to hold on to control of one or both chambers. So right now things are very tight for them. And they're saying if they can pass some of these priorities, it might persuade voters to keep them in power. Now, every single thing that we can deliver between now and November helps us, right? Every single thing that we can deliver between now and November helps us to continue to build the momentum and also to bring the constituencies that are still waiting for more action in particular areas, said Pramila Jayapal. So letting us know that this is a concern, this is something that I want to do in addition to helping people out so they are doubly motivated. And I believe that is because of that reason that there is no provisions, not even stimulus checks that are off the table. And as you see in the past couple of days, there have been a lot of talks about stimulus checks to not only help people with pandemic, but also to help combat this increased gas prices that we're hearing on going to be going down anytime soon. So that is the latest on executive orders and executive actions as reported to you. Progressives came out this week, and they gave the laundry list of all the executive actions and orders that they would like to see. That's gonna be anything that is not passed through Build Back Better. They want him to step up and pass executive orders and actions to get these things done. We also hearing that progress has been made with Build Back Better bill, as Senator Joe Manchin and members of Congress are resembling that right now. And as always, thank you so much for joining me if you made it this far. And if you haven't already, don't forget to take a quick second, smash that like button down below. I appreciate it. Also, leave your comment, share this out if you think it's gonna help out other people.